that gave me quite a lot of ammunition for Twitter in terms of understanding games and leaving my commentary. Moving on, we're going to be talking about how I fundraised and grew my gaming business. It is not me that did that. It is Olivier Madiba. Olivier, do you want to get up?
No, I just put the chrono because I talk a lot. Okay. Okay, there's a monitor time too there. Okay, so hello everyone. I just want to be sure that I can zap. So next, previous. Okay, I got it. So, hello everyone, and thanks for you for time to be there. I know that it's the end of the week, and everyone is a little bit tired. So, thanks for you to be there. I am Madiba Olivier, the founder of Kiro Games, and I will talk to you a little bit about us and how we fundraised. How we fundraised and grew our gaming business. So. For those of you who don't know who is Kiro Games, we are the first studio to design an African fantasy PC games back in 2016. So you can find it on Steam, Orion Legacy of the Coriodan. And now we are building one of the first cross-media catalog in Africa with mobile game, comic books, animation, business, book, and even a restaurant called Kiro Chop, where when our player wins something in the game, they can go and eat. We also got some industry recognition in 2021 with the FEJA Award and the Game Industry Africa Awards for what we try to do for the community. We're also a member of the Gaming Avengers band called PAG. And what are you doing there with all this? So we are there because I want to share with you our fundraising postmortem, how we raised almost $1 million USD alone to build that studio, and how also we build the kind of team where everyone can stay motivated even when there is power cut in this really complex self-made, traumatized human resource place that Africa can be. Because yes, a lot of our artists will come traumatized by the life outside of your studio. So, and this is not a success story. This is a world-breaking story. Like a story, Kiro is not a studio who win everything. We are a studio who break walls to make something that seems impossible possible for the next generation. And it's not our story alone. It's the story of most of the African studios that we meet there. So let's go back in 23 to, in fact, it's 26. I was an amateur game designer learning to make games on internet, on the 1G, 1G internet at the time. And we make Orion Legacy of Enzo Coriodan this time. And it was like a black Goku guy with using pictures from other games. Just the hero was drawn and even redrawn from another hero. But this is where we learned how to make staging, writing, and game design. And in the amateur French community, we were a little bit respected because we were already doing QT, quick time event in RPG 2003. So we decided to become pro in 2012 because we read something on the press about a studio who have like 4 million USD budget only for the entertainment of the team. And we were like, oh my God, if someone gives us 4 million in Africa to make a game, we can make something very big. And that's the first time that we decided that, it was also the indie golden age where everyone was thinking that you can now again start in a garage without a publisher and make it. So it was also the golden age of Kickstarter in this era, where everyone can come, show his dream, and people will come in the world and give you money to make it happen. So we started to make another prototype of our games. We moved from black shonen things to the first African fantasy themed. And for like 6 months, when we registered on Kickstarter, like in June, we had the button post your project or submit available. So we took 6 months to build the demo, RPG Maker demo, etc. We only wanted 12,000 USD because we wanted some money to make another better prototype before, etc. We were really naive because our vision at this time was that if we make a good amateur game, Ubisoft will look at us and say, oh my God, too much potential. We were thinking that gaming was like football. And it's important because I want you to see that the power of naivety gives you often the courage to try. If someone downloaded me everything I know now about the industry, I would have been paralyzed. You know, so it's a good thing to don't know at some point. So if you're a new game designer and someone with 10-year experience tell you that you don't know what you do, it's a good thing because you have the power to try. Don't stop. Listen advice, but everyone has his own way to do things. Believe in it. We are the proof. So we click on, finally, November 2012. We are like, OK, we have the demo, we have the story. We go and click on submit your project on Kickstarter. And when we choose country Cameroon, we have the little message. Kickstarter is not for you. Bam. You don't have the right to do your dream, because you are not in the right place in the world. But what you don't know is that we decided that we'll not let the world tell us our destiny anymore. It was like what we have heard for 10 years before, from my 16 to almost my, I think, 25 or something. And I was like, enough. I will not let this world dictate what are my limits. So we decided to go on Indiegogo, and we raised the bar. We were like, OK, we want to show now how the professional game will look. We have only 2 PCs, no tablets, so we draw only on paper, scanned it. I don't have the thing because we didn't have a scanner. So it was like we put the windows of the office, we put the paper in, little light, and we take pictures, and we go on Photoshop, and it was really epic. We did graphic prototypes on what our professional game would have been if we have funds, and we get on Indiegogo wanting this time 75,000 euro, and we only get 1% of it. We were enough smarter to take the option that even if we get 1%, give us the money. And the thing is, the hardest part was not that we didn't raise the money, it's the reason why. Because a lot of people were like, okay, you are not X something, you cannot make an action RPG with real-time gameplay, etc., etc. You are not X Google, X Ubisoft, etc. And none of you have ever been even an intern in a gaming studio. This was not the hardest part. The hardest part was you are an African scam. I mean, when you have to raise funds for a game everywhere in the world is hard. But in Africa, we had the bonus quest, proving that we are not a scam. It was epic. And we decided that it will not stop us. So we and we decided, OK, we have to do it ourselves. We don't care, because after that, we go into some tech bank, some business angels group, same things, African scam, we don't believe, no traction, etc. So at the point, we say that the guys at Wall Street have the same brain cells than us. How did they do to raise money? And we invented in literally 2 nights the equity crowdfunding alone. It didn't have a name at this time in 2013. And we raised 50,000 USD in 6 months alone with emails, YouTube. I will explain it how we do it later. And this is how we break the funding wall. We opened Kiro Games, but we needed 200,000 USD to make a real professional game. But we only have 50,000 in 2013 when we opened our studio. So we have to build and raise at the same time. I decided to literally sleep at my office. This is my survival pack. Like the pool was offered by my grandma, etc. I have a house, by the way. But I decided that, guys, we will crunch from day one. Everyone living in the studio from Monday to Friday. It was not forced. But we were like, this is the moment where we tell the world that we master our destiny. And no matter the wall you will bring us, we'll break it. It was literally the say. So we give everything. And you know what? We didn't have Unity in Real because at the time, it was not free, I think. And we didn't have also the right because Cameroonian, etc. So we go on XNA, and we built our own engine on the way, Astral Engine. And if you go and see the trailer of Orion, we have made something very amazing. And very little story. I never used XNA before. So while I was like raising things, the guy in charge of the programming was like, because I come from RPG Maker. So I was like, okay, XNA must be something like that where you will install, you will get the engine, the drag and drop things. I didn't know it was a framework. The programmer was like, Olivier, I have to say something. No, let me, we have to. And when we opened the studio, after my first, talk to the team, like, yeah, we have made it, we can. He told me that, now can you listen to me? I have put XNA in your PC, you have to come and see it. I enter in my room, my new office. I launched XNA, and I found this black screen telling me that, put your script for graphic here. Put your game logic here. I'm like, where is the drag and drop? He say, it's a framework, bro. I remember that I can't breathe in my room because we already used like 40,000 USD to equip everyone. And I was like, oh, what on earth will I do? And after calming down, I walk in the room, very charismatic, like, guys, we'll build our own engine. They were like, you know how to do it? I have some track. And they believed me, and we do it. We did it literally. Even when there was power cut, this photo was really, I didn't realize that someone taking photo because when the electricity was gone, we were just like, okay, time to brainstorm, and this was like very epic moment, best moment of my life now because it was hard at this time. So, in 2015, we had, because the game, of course, was hard to finish, so we didn't have enough money anymore. We have to make another Kickstarter, and we raised 45,000 USD this time. And this time we were not eligible as Cameroonian, but we had a French publisher. So he was the one submitting the project, and we get some part of the money to finish the game. Finally, Orion, Legacy of the Corridor, 30 years of my life was out. We got 7 on 10. The game was not perfect because there is some ignition things, some glitches, but we have like a unanimous review, like 10 on 10 on writing, lore, and music. Some people say that we have written one of the best scenario of gaming at this time, even with The Witcher. Some of the reviewers compared us to The Witcher lore and Zelda, etc. So for us, it was like, wow, we have created something. And it gives us also respect in the industry, and we contributed somehow that there is Africa gaming somewhere with respect near to it. And it was also the beginning of the marketing hell, because in our naivety and amateurism, we counted on the natural buzz of an African game, and we discovered that no, it's not how things works, and it was hard to sell the game at this point, and the publisher was not enough aggressive too. So we had this technical success, but the marketing was not there. So we went into a very hard time, but also something very good happened. I was, how do you call it? There was this yearly program, Young African Leadership Initiative, by President Obama at the time, where every year 1,000 young Africans go in United States in really prestigious universities, and they teach us they teach us good things about how to. This is the first time I heard about IPO, VC, etc. So we didn't even know about it. Like there was an IPO things, stake etc. But they also teach us the real stakes of our continent because we were in our bubble. And I made the first cultural shift at Kiro Games. We were a linear creative process, idea, prototype, deliver, and pray that it works. And now we become a design-driven company where, human-centered. We understood the logic of understand the psychology of your players before even starting to make game design, etc. And it gave us a lot of advantage. And we went out of this shifting with another view. We started in 2013 with the idea to become just a Ubisoft in Africa. But we realized that we have more to do than that. We cannot just entertain people. We have to do more. We have to launch something bigger. We have to make something Pan-African, cross-media, etc. And this is something you will see a lot in a lot of African studios, at least in the Western Africa, because it's based on what we see on the ground, and I will explain it later. But when I was explaining it on Slush, same logic, in 2017, investors, VC said that no, this level of diversification is not possible in Africa. We have never seen that. It's lack of focus, blah, 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 blah. And you don't have traction. This word, traction. This is my new world that I want to break for the next generation, this traction thing. It's good to have traction, understand me well, but I will explain it later. So we decided to prototype everything to show that we know how to execute what we say, so we are not dreaming without any pragmatism behind it. But it was never enough. And at some point, even when we proved that you can do it, they said it's lack of focus. You are not focused, etc., etc. So we decided that we will do it again. So this time, let's raise $1 million USD alone again, but we will do it with our own equity crowdfunding technology that we called Kiro Ubuntu. And today, the Cameroonian government wants us to make it a global thing in the country and even in the region. And what's happened is like 490 young African invested from 500 to 1,000 USD on us. And this is how we raised it so far, 650,000 USD alone since 2019. It's still hard because you have to raise while building again, but it shows us that somehow our own generation believe in us. Not us Kiro, but us African builders. All of us who are fighting for something greater than just gaming that I will explain now. So what have we done with this investment? Exactly what people said it was impossible. We have made mobile games that are really well reviewed with a lot of downloads. We have made 9 volumes of comic book that had like 20 to 30 years of exploitation possible. We have made animation deals with best studios in France. And we have designed our own technology to monetize game with mobile money. I think we are one of the most advanced mobile money integration in gaming. And we also have built our own customer relationship management in Africa. We have done it with this little funding. And we also some KPI also to show that we know how to monetize, return, etc. This is what we have done. So let's go basic on how to raise money like Kiro, because this is the first part of the talk, and we'll accelerate. First, if you are a founder who want to raise a loan when VC, banks, friends, etc. tell you you cannot, you have to understand your market and how capital market works. You have to understand, you have to get outside of just being a game designer and start to think a little bit like a, Wall Street guy. Then you have to be pragmatic and enough to know, okay, if someone give me 100,000 K, how can I turn it into 1.5 million someday? And this can be very long and complex, okay? But you have to know it. You cannot just say, I have this crazy idea in my mind and we'll make a killer game. You have also to split your needs into phase. If you need 100,000 USD, you will not need everything at the beginning. You need something to install, something to build, etc. So cut your needs. It helps you to know the minimum money you have to raise to start and build trust for the investors. Then there is this part where you just have to devise your own company into shares. People in Wall Street love to do like this is magic, but something I learned is that when you are an engineer in coding, You can understand anything very easily and explain it like kids. Of course, I respect their work. There's 10 years of expertise to do something, but at the basic, it's just a rule of three and common sense. Okay, let's just say that you want to never sell more than 10 or 25% of your company when you start, because you will raise more again, and you don't. And the more or less you open, the best is it. So let's say that you want to raise 200,000 USD, and you have 1 million shares in your company, and you are ready to sell 20%. It's just make logical that 20% will give you 200,000 shares to sell. And if you want to raise this amount of money, you just made a rule of three, and it gives you the value of the share you sell. You will have a guardian of the right duty of valuation coming to you and say you are overvalued, etc. So I don't care about them, because that's the same guy who gave money to the Thanatos Challenge, a scandal somewhere. So don't care about them. Evolve, because one problem you will have is if you make your simulation and your company do well and you have 1 million profits, your investor will feel that, man, we give you 200,000 USD, and when profit comes, you have 800,000, and we only have 200,000. It's not interesting enough to invest on you. What you do is to create special class shares for them, telling them that until you guys get 3 times your investment or 2 times, depending on your simulation, you will get the most part of the benefits, of the profits of the company. And that's where you become interesting based on profit only. And there is also profit by valuation, because they have priority to sell, resell if there is another buyer, this kind of stuff. So this is how we raised money. And we also learned that you have to search people who only want long-term. That was one of my mistakes in the first fundraise. Never promise something in 3 years. Let's search people who want to invest and wait even 10 years with you. And the good news is that young African investors, very young people who have like 1,000 to invest somewhere, are ready to say, okay, I'm young, I just started my career, I put something, my money where my heart is, and I'm ready to wait until my 50 to get something. Where the African senior will not want to wait because he's almost at the retreat. This is data. It's important because this is the data that we only get by this experiment. All the experts in the world will tell you that African investors are seniors, etc., but it's false. Because seniors are afraid, they have a lot of charges. We know our families where you are the king and everyone depends on you, so they are stressed. Where a junior is like more free, etc. And they often invest for their future kids that don't even exist yet. So we written a book about it for all this. It's only in French, sorry, on Amazon, but it's always also available on kirorobuntu.com in digital. And we are open to find partners to publish it in English and things. So now I explain you the fundraising part, and I will go on the growing part. The growing of Kiro Game was more about culture shift than fundraising. We made 3 culture shift bad one at Kiro. The first one was the promised land culture. When we make our first game, the idea was like, we have suffered before. With this game and the success, we will go in heaven. The problem with that is that when you arrive in heaven, and it's not only sweet and pie, people are demotivated and they don't want to continue anymore, because you have created a finite player mindset. So I decided, okay, let's go in the infinite mindset, and I created an infinity Valhalla place where when I recruit, I was like, you are come in a place where we'll fight against the world forever, ever. It gives you strife, but it's become toxic because everyone is burned out after 2 years of that. New mistake. So let's now put the humanity of everyone at the center of this company. And you remember when I said that your human resources are traumatized people by African life? What happened is that everyone come with a depression at the work, like, I cannot do this, I have issues with my mother when I was, you have to draw. No, humanity is in the center, my humanity is broken. It was hard. It was hard. So it took us some time, and we figured out that We have to consider us, and we worked with Yol Paul, who is the founder of Lead Human Potential, to build this. In fact, we founded balance in the fact to consider our team like an orchestra. Because when you are an orchestra, you have this infinite thing that there will never be a final concert that finished music for you. So your team embraces the fact that, okay, every game you do is not the last thing that will make you finish, because every concert is a new adventure. They also embrace the fact that as a musician, you have to get power to your music, but also harmony. You have to combine creativity, team building, discipline, the synchronization, because your music can break the music of everyone. And it's really compatible with our African DNA. When we explain something through music, we understand it more than Valhalla, etc. So this is, and I think the key for every studio at some point is it. Because you can make money and you start, but if you want to scale, at the end of the day, it will be about the people, and you don't want to lose the guys that you have trained for 2 years because they go for some I don't know what. So culture was the main challenge. And if us, African studio, we grew, we understand the stake, we understand the quality, we understand the rules of the global world to succeed. People who want to invest and become partner of African studio must also have a real culture shift in their mindset. They have to stop to think that our job is to become a copycat of New York or something else, because this is not the path. And if we do it as a continent, we have failed. Because the world needs a new civilization, and we are the only clean space where Wall Street don't have enough stakes to make something new and better for humanity. So even in gaming, when you came to invest and partner with African studio, don't come and put your Formula One mindset. That is good. We respect it. When you're on a good road, you have to go fast, be focused, etc. But when you're in Paris-Dakar, man, it's about pivot quickly, diversify faster, being resilient and strive. And we asked them to learn what China teaches them. Alibaba showed that eBay was a whale in the ocean, where when they come in China, beyond the regulation we know about it, they also missed out the fact that the psychology and the social of the market was not a copy of United States. And don't make the same mistake in Africa. And we don't say it because we want to be supported or helped. We don't need, like Kiro showed, we can do it alone if we need. We take more time, but we can do it alone. But we think that the African market, at least, because there is factory, there is other paradigm, but the African market is something that you have to mine. I will just, this picture shows something. Local gaming studio understand something on the local target that you will never see yet on Google Analytics, Hapani, etc. And I will give you a little story about that. If you think that you want to launch a streaming company and you go and see the stats of Netflix, you will make the mistake to think that Africans love to see Avengers or this kind of stuff. And you will get privileged people who love Avengers, but you will lose the mass market of taxi drivers, motor taximen, etc. And this is where the market, the mass market in Africa lies. And those people don't care about Avengers because they don't have the reference to see why a guy running in costume is heroic, because they don't have the reference when they were kids. So something else can be a hit for them, and you have to understand it. And you have to listen when some who are on the ground tell you that we cannot just make a Street Fighter 25 like you want. There is a way to make it there. Those who will listen, we earn a lot of money on the mobile money only that I see, but there is a lot of other opportunities. And even only on mobile money, there will be 1.3 billion USD in microtransaction in Africa, only with mobile money, but other studios see other things. There will be a huge valuation, etc. And if you are a studio, and we have so low burn rates that Africa is not the place where people make better turnover, but it's the place where everyone make better margin. You can ask to telcos. This is why they come here, they compete to be here. The best margin are done in Africa. But We welcome other games in the African market. We welcome the fact that we have to focus on games and not be maybe social, but we are not in Europe. We are not in United States. We have a bomb on the head. 40% of our African youth are under 40-year-olds. Even there where there is prosperity, when you go out, you see this. Young people completely wasted in their brain. And there will be more and more than them because our politicians and financial system leaders are totally disconnected about that. At least the most of them. Some are good. And it's too late for Africa to go into this dream about industrialization because even in every factory in the world, the competition is about engineering everything now. You cannot turn 200 million internet people into engineers. And we have only 20 years to avoid the chaos. It's mathematics. Young people, frustration, lack of opportunity, bomb. And we will not sell games in chaos. So if you become a gaming studio who succeed, you have the duty to build prosperity from everything else. You have even the opportunity to take everything on this continent to the mediocre part that leads us. They don't want to invest in electricity, fine, we will do it. We see Africa becoming the place where the tourism, the culture will have a real industry. This is what we can do because we know how to make party. So let's make the world come and entertain there by animation, culture, tourism, music, etc. But we organize it on the way that is create jobs based on what we know how to do. And if the bankers, the politicians don't want to do it, the game industry will do it. I am not the only one who say it. You can talk to Hugo, you can talk to Aram, you can talk to any of us who is there for so long. We have the same vision without even talking about it. It's burning in our DNA. So making the African video game becoming great is making Africa becoming great. It's creating a world where 1 billion people become rich and become the client of every business coming out and in. And we all have to win about this. And our vision is to become a part of this. And we have some roadmap that I can explain. But we give every blood in our body to do that with this team. And this is the message I wanted to share with you today. Thanks.
Olivier, thank you very, very much. That was an incredible talk. The 3 phases of shifting cultures was particularly relatable to me. I've definitely done the promised land before, so I was just laughing at it. Woo! That was interesting time. We have time for like 1 question. If anybody, all right, I'll give the 2 questions there.
Hi, I hope you're well. I just have a quick question about Kira Rubuntu. So beyond the fundraising and shareholders management solution, right? Does it offer consulting? Does it offer consulting and solutions? Because I think where a lot of crowdfunding, while crowdfunding can fail for sometimes, is that barrier of entry sometimes is low, and then people don't have the expertise, and then they'll fail. So I think solutions and consulting is a very important aspect. Do you guys offer that?
We try to offer it, but I realize that I cannot duplicate some experience as easy as I think. So one thing that we are working on is to automatize the consulting, like literally building an AI to guide you on everything you need. This is technology we are building on with the Cameroonian government right now. It will take some time, but depending on the type of partner that we can find, we can go faster, and we will share it with other studios. So now there is no consulting, but try to reach me on social media, and I will often give advice, and I try to put everything in the book too, as much as possible.
Hi, I just wanted to ask if you could give a bit more elaboration on your mobile money system and how other studios looking to capitalize on mobile money, what steps they should take.
Okay. I realize that South Africa don't use a lot of mobile money, and it seems that Nigeria have its custom way to do it. But mobile money across most of other countries in Africa is the way Africans don't have banks account, mainly out of South Africa, I think, but we all have mobile money wallet. And all telcos have already created API and SDK to integrate mobile money payment, but its store is designed for web platform because they are decided to make web e-commerce mainly. So when it's about to put it into games, the main challenge, and we know that Google and even Gameloft tried it since the 10 previous years somehow, but maybe with the big team, but they tried it, is every telcos, every aggregator have its own logic, and it's a mess to integrate this mess in your game. So at Kiro Games, we designed a way to harmonize the chaos about it, and to make, like, you are a player, you go into your game, you choose your country, and automatically when you try to buy something in a shop, you have the mobile money carrier available in your country, and you pay in the seamless way possible. It's perfect already in Cameroon. We have tried something in Ivory Coast and Senegal, but players have to go outside the game and come back. So, but we know that we're on the right track, and this is really promising. We designed it with the idea to share it as much as possible, but we have to keep crafting it, and the more we'll find partners. And Hugo gave me a very good advice, like we have to build a little bit more in public to make the community give us feedback on how we can make it, and we'll definitely try to talk more about it in the African gaming community and others.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Day 3, we here still. My voice is barely here. It comes, it goes when it decides. So if you see me talking and I've muted myself, it's unfortunate. But we're going to move on to the next discussion now. It's going to be inside one of the world's largest independent gas companies and the road to third-party publishing by Stuart Stanbury from Jagex.